here in about 45 minutes, and we are live. So anyhow, I'm going to try to wrap us up relatively early, just because it is Mother's Day, and I want to spend a little bit of time with my wife. And we've been out today. My son was his very first jiu-jitsu tournament, and so he went out and we went out and watched it play. And the sad part about the tournament was they were only allowing the participant to take one person in. Well, Mother's Day, he's taking his mama in, and so I couldn't go, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's not going to work. So I'm just like, I'm outside like a little beggar with my cup, and I said, hey, are you going in with anybody? Yeah, I'm going in. Are you going in with anybody? Are you going in? So I finally found somebody that said, yeah, come on. Right? So I explained, hey, I got my son in there doing jiu-jitsu, and it was my son's first time doing a tournament, and he took third place.
Nice.
Well, there was only three of them competing in his class, so he was last in his class. But he's actually only been doing this for 6 months, I think it is. And so anyhow, all right. So anyhow, today we're going to talk a little bit about industry drama. We're not really going to be talking about drama. We want to say Happy Mother's Day. We want it to be a good and happy thing, kind of thing. I got my guest tonight. It's going to be Mr. Daniel Howerton. He is one of the moderators here at Spray Wash Academy. How you feeling tonight?
Doing good.
Feeling good? You looking good? So you just got off the job, right? And you're getting ready to go out again?
Yeah. Basically an hour and a half. And then I'm here for a couple hours. Then I'm going an hour and a half east.
You're driving an hour and a half east?
Yes.
Now, is that for work or is that for
work? I've got some jobs lined up tomorrow down at the coast that I've got to get to.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let's start off. Let's talk a little bit about. We've had some things going on. Ray and I are going to end up. We're going to start going live on Mondays, and I think it's either Wednesdays or Thursdays. I can't remember what we decided on. But I'll find out, and we'll try to make that a routine thing that we're going to start doing. But I wanted to bring Daniel in over here today because we've had some drama pop up on the boards lately, and I wanted to talk about it just real quick. I wanted to get it out the way and talk a little bit about some of that. So first thing I want to say is that we have chosen some people to be moderators in the groups, okay? Spray Wash Academy and Spray Wash Pro. We've got some moderators and admins in there, and we trust and respect, and we don't, like, as an example today, somebody that I like was given a timeout, and the person asked me to lift the timeout, and I said no. I mean, the moderators are here doing their job for a reason, and there's too much out there. And one of the comments that it was said, and was about, if you don't like the group, you can leave. Look, we don't want anybody to go, but we also don't want people that are going to start stuff to stay. The person that was part of that, I don't think was trying to start anything necessarily. So it wasn't about that. But I do want to say that for us, we look at this and we say, this is supposed to be, Daniel, I'm going to let you answer this. Daniel and I haven't talked about this as to what I'm getting ready to ask him and all that, but Daniel, what are these groups all about?
Learning and helping people.
They're about learning and they're about education. So I think that I see both sides of the coin, right? I see so one of the comments that was made was about spoon feeding people. And I agree with not spoon feeding people. What is your take on the spoon feeding thing?
Yeah, I mean, and I know somebody's probably going to say I'm calling people names, but if you're lazy enough, if you're just plain lazy, then I don't think they really deserve the help. No one needs to be spoon fed. The people that are here that are knowledgeable enough to help, we're not spoon fed. Mm-hmm. The people that really make it in this industry, we're not spoon fed. So if you really want to make it in the industry, I don't think you should expect to be spoon fed, and I don't think anybody should spoon feed anybody.
Right. So I'm going to give you what my take on it is here in a second, but I'm going to ask you what your take is. And again, Daniel and I haven't discussed any of this. We've not talked about what any of my questions are going to be and any of this. So this is just two guys talking. I want to try to bring up both sides of the coin, right? And that's what I want to try to do. But I also, by the time it's over with, I want to get to an understanding of what we are doing here. Okay, so I think Jason Ayers is one of our moderators. Same thing. He put somebody out today, and somebody made a comment about this being like China, or I can't remember what it was. Where I know you didn't see that, Daniel, but about just kicking people out and that kind of thing. But why would we do that, Daniel?
Well, would you kick someone out or put someone?
Yeah. Why would we time somebody out, or why would we, why would we give somebody the boot? Why would we time them out? Are we being dictators by doing that? Let me ask you that.
No, there's rules and guidelines, community standards. If you aren't following by those, then I think a timeout or, something similar to that is just kind of a warning, because we can say over and over and over, it's just like your kid, right? You can tell your kid over and over and over, don't do this. Sometimes you got to pop your butt. Sometimes you have to give that warning to let them know that it's serious, because there are repercussions for that.
We could certainly go down that path too, because look, I'm a spanker. I believe in spanking kids. I mean, but I can tell you with that knowledge that I maybe pop my kids on the butt 5 times max, right? But the thing about it was they knew that Dad meant it. If Dad didn't do the countdown 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm going to count to 3. 1, 2, 2.5, 2 3/4, 2 7/8. Now, I don't believe in that. It's like Dad's going to count to 3, 1, pow, and they knew that it would happen that way. So they knew that there were rules, and the rules have to be followed. And even nowadays, I mean, my kids respect me enough that they know they may not like it, but they respect it. And that's what we're asking of you out there. Okay. Those of you that are in the academy, and so on Spray Wash Pro, we don't hardly put up with anything like this. Okay, you don't see any of this drama in Spray Wash Pro because we don't put up with it. So, are we being dictators? Kind of in a way, but it's for the betterment of everybody. And I'm sure, and I've never asked Daniel this either, but I'm not a believer in ribbons. How about you? You know what I mean by that? Yeah. Everybody gets a ribbon. Hurting people's feelings.
Yep.
I'm not a ribbon. I when it first came out, I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. But then you learn from it, right? And so then you say, you know what? Everybody getting a ribbon isn't a good thing. And so we don't give everybody, or we shouldn't be giving everybody ribbons, and that's my opinion. And so when it boils down to it boils down to we're going to have some rules in the group. We're going to start enforcing some different rules and some better rules. And Daniel's one of those guys, and myself, that are going to enforce those rules, whether we like them or not. So sometimes we're going to put people in timeout, or if they can't get along with everybody, we're going to boot them out. I know one of the guys that was posting today, I like a lot, and it was, a little misunderstanding in a way, but at the same time, the moderator that gave him the timeout was absolutely right in what he did and should have done. So, Daniel, what are your views on how the academy should be run? And again, I'm throwing it out there that Daniel and I have not talked about any of this. So, Daniel, what are your thoughts on that? By the way, I am drinking hardcore ice water on the rocks. So just so you all know.
Dug it. So I think that. So we'll put it this way. When I joined the academy, I joined to learn. I really wanted to learn. I have been in this business since 2011. I think I joined in 2018, maybe, because I've just been doing it wrong for so long. Surprisingly, still in business. And I finally, it's like when I found Spray Wash Academy, I was like, I found somewhere that fits me. This is what I need. And I got on there and I started learning. Now, that being said, I was also going to several trainings and spending, several $1,000s a year in training. So it wasn't just learning free information. I was also investing in this. But it
Which
was
is very important.
right. But it was very, very good. It was very knowledgeable. And then over the past couple of years, I've noticed, and it's not just Spray Wash Academy, but it's in every single group that I'm in except for Pro. I'm noticing that I'm seeing more negativity than I am in positive posts. Now, there's a lot of help. I still see a lot of people helping. But I can see that transition where there's a lot more people in it now than there used to be. And there's a lot more negativity in it. So I would love to see just more positivity, because that's what it's for. That's what I saw when I joined. That's what helped me get to where I'm at today, by joining a very helpful group. And I would just love to be able to see that again.
And so, look, Naked Soap here is saying, I'm not a child. Ain't nobody going to put me in timeout. And look, I agree with that. We're not children. And so, based on what you're saying right now, is that, that is the whole point. Is that we're not kids. We're not children. And nobody needs to be going into quote unquote timeout, right? And timeout, whether it's the right word or wrong word, doesn't necessarily matter. But I think what Naked Soap's saying there too is that I'm not a child. We are not children, and we shouldn't be putting anybody in timeout. And so, looking at it this way, I do want it to be a positive experience for people coming into the academy, and into Pro and into any of the groups that are out there, right? So part of the way I'm looking at it, I'm going to raise my hand and say I'm very guilty of just erasing posts. Okay. If I see somebody come on and they're being negative, or they're being, I'm sorry, stupid in a way. I just delete the post, right? And the whole purpose and the reason behind this is simply that we want this to be a good, respectful place. So I'm just letting everybody know. I'm going to put it out to the moderators too, that if somebody can't play nice, if they can't, so look, we can still joke around and we can still have fun, and that's what we want to do. But we do want to keep it more of a positive atmosphere and a positive thing that's out there. And hey, you know what? First of all, I'm going to say it again, that if one of the moderators, gives you a quote unquote timeout, or gives you the boot, Ray and I have already made the decision. We're not second guessing. If somebody's wrong, because I can be wrong sometimes, Daniel can be wrong sometimes, Jason can be wrong, Ray can be, we can all be wrong, right? And so we'll listen to that. I don't want to say that we won't, but at the same time, there are so many posts that happen and so many things that happen that there's no way to watch it all. And we truly want this to be a positive, good learning place to be. Okay. So the negativity and the posts that just are going nowhere or doing nothing for anybody other than there to create drama and or to create negativity. Or if somebody pops in and says, Daniel, what is SH?
I'm going to tag bleach.
bleach. So look, so when there are those questions that are, they're there. I guess what we're asking of y'all is to, instead of just start bashing that person, just leave the post alone. If somebody comes in and says, what is SH? Then nobody answers anything. The guy's like, okay, maybe he needs to use the search bar. But I'll also say that the search bar on Facebook, it kind of sucks. I know myself, I have been searching for things in the past that I know are there, and I can't find them. So, man, I got to block this guy. I didn't know he would be on here. Oh, man, that guy sucks. Daniel, feel free to kick this guy out. anytime you want, anytime. This guy starts so much crap, it's not even funny. He doesn't even belong in here anymore. Anyhow, so look, we're just saying that the negativity and the junk posts and all that. Look, just scroll past it, right? If you don't like what a post has to say, Daniel, what should they do?
Just keep on moving. I mean, it literally takes less time to just keep scrolling than it does to sit there and write something out that isn't going to help anybody.
Now, I have a feeling I know who this post is. See, it says Facebook user to me, but it says mine aren't usually negative. They're just, they just have a knack of triggering folks. Most of what I post is to get people thinking. I already know that's going to be Jeff. Even though it doesn't say Jeff on here, that's going to be Jeff. And Jeff's one of them ones. I mean, he's been in the industry a good while, and he does post stuff to try to get you to think sometimes. I'm going to go back in the let's see. Man, happy Mother's Day, y'all. Anybody that's out there that's a mother or that has a mother, welcome, And for all those, because we've got a lot of people that recently lost their mothers and that kind of thing. So, again, I wish I could see who every single user is, but this thing here, the Academy, has been great compared to other groups, and we really want to keep it that way. I don't know what this says, but I'm going to open it up and see. It says, I think the pandemic has made some people nervous about their business. Very good point. And lash out against new guys and bash them. Very good point. New guys are always going to have basic one-on-one education questions that experienced guys aren't going to think are ridiculous. In the beginning, most of the experienced guys also had no idea what they were doing. They just forgot. I think that's a good point. Again, I wish I could see who that user is there. And it is. I mean, I know when I started out, I didn't know squat. We didn't have Facebook like this. We didn't have all the groups, but we did have some offline group, or not offline, but some, forums instead of Facebook. And I remember going to one in particular, and I don't remember what question I asked, but boy, did I ever get slammed. And the person that ran that group, called me up. We had a nice chat, and I just told him, look, I don't have time for your guys. I mean, I didn't join your group to just get bashed about a question. And I don't know what question I asked. Maybe it was, what is SH? I don't know. But I asked what was considered to be a very simple, basic question. And I have to tell you, we all had to start somewhere. I don't believe that we should be spoon feeding. I believe that we have a search bar, and I believe that, you got to use that search bar and those sorts of things. But we also need to be respectful of one another, and even us as moderators need to be respectful of everybody else. I think, Daniel, did I tell you I thought you made a mistake?
You said that you thought, I was just reading the post that you put in there, and that you agreed and disagreed. So I'm assuming that there was a mistake in there.
Well, I think I said that I thought you were both wrong. I thought you were both wrong in some of what was done and what was said. And I'm not gonna. I would expect nothing less of you to call me out, and I would, we all can call each other out. That's not the bad thing here. We're allowed to do that, but we need to keep it professional.
Uh-huh.
We need to. What's the purpose of Spray Wash Academy, Daniel?
Education. So, I mean, if someone's wrong, educate them.
Mm-hmm. And we're here to do what?
Point fingers at people.
And help each other, right?
Yeah.
You can tell this isn't scripted.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all it boils down to, is we're here to help one another and not to cut each other down. Everybody doesn't deserve a ribbon, and I understand that. And look, I am not saying that you can't chastise somebody, because sometimes people need to get a slap upside the back of the head. It's just the way that it is. I just want us to be a little bit respectful about it. I like what Alan says here. Dad said, if I have nothing to say, just don't say anything at all. If I have nothing good to say, don't say anything at all. Look, if it's not, I guess what I would suggest is, if you if you're going to respond to something and you look at that and you're thinking, does it actually help the situation at all? And posting something negative can help if you get somebody to think about something, right? Or you share the other side of the coin or whatever. But, the whole bashing thing and the whole, just getting into negative and slamming somebody around, I am going to say you'll probably see more removal of those types of posts. And if I happen to keep seeing the same name popping up, I'm sure Daniel's going to be the same way. I guarantee you Jason's going to do it. Jacob Deal's going to do it. Everybody's going to do it. We've got several moderators on here. I mean, TJ doesn't put up with much. And I can tell you this. I guarantee you, Daniel, that you have differing opinions on some stuff than I do. And you have differing opinions than TJ does. And I have a differing opinion than TJ does and Jacob does and Jason, So we all have these differing viewpoints so that we don't agree with each other a lot of times. And so, but we still have to be respectful about how we do it and that sort of thing. So I guess that's really where all this is at. And I do want to give a reminder that Ray and I will be going live tomorrow night, Monday night. We're supposed to be going live Monday night. We'll start going live Mondays and either Wednesdays or Thursdays. I can't remember. I can't remember which days we had said that we were going to do that, but we're going to start doing that try to do that every Monday and every Wednesday or Thursday, whichever that was, and kind of go from there. A simple disclaimer can alleviate some simple upsets. That is true.
It's pretty.
Yeah, anything else you want to add there, Mr. Daniel?
That's kind of pretty much what it is right here.
What's that?
This is a live disclaimer.
Yeah, there you go. It's a live disclaimer. That's what this is. Yes, yeah. Most definitely.
I will say one thing. Someone made a comment that it seemed like I was abusing my power. I've been a moderator, I don't know how long, for a while now. I've never deleted one comment. I have never reported anybody. I've never deleted comments. I've never kicked anybody out. I've never put anybody in timeout. That was the first time that I've actually done anything aside from letting people in the group or denying people from the group because they're not answering the questions. Mm-hmm. But it is something I'm very passionate about. And before any of this happened, I talked to Ray on the phone, and I told him, I said, I'm thinking about deleting every group that I'm in. And he said, why? And I told him, I said, including Spray Wash Academy. And he said, why? I said, because everything, but when I'm scrolling through, I'm just seeing negative stuff. No one's helping anybody. If I want to see negativity, I can turn the news on and watch that.
It's funny you say that. I was just getting ready to ask you, how often do you watch the news?
I don't watch the news often.
Okay. And you want to, so look, that is the absolute perfect segue into this. When you were saying that, my brain was going to the news. I quit watching the news. The reason I quit watching the news is because it's always so negative. Look, for those of you out there right now that are either watching this live or that are going to watch it later on, here's the thing. This is Daniel, that's a powerful thing you just said. And the reason that it is because I'm betting that we're losing some really good quality people that I know used to interact on here and used to help people, but they're so tired of the drama and all the negativity that they're just not tuning in anymore. They're just not watching anything anymore, right? They're not watching the news because the news is negative. I don't watch the news anymore. People say, oh, did you see what happened? No, I really didn't, because I don't watch the news anymore because I'm tired of that bull crap, right? It's all negative. Okay, so this is the official disclaimer that all this negative crap is probably what's driving away a lot of really good people that are here to help and good people that are here to learn and all that. So we're going to start cutting that down. And I'm going to tell you, I'm semi-retired. I got a little bit more time to cut down posts. I don't want to cut down anybody's posts. I want everybody to speak freely and feel like they have the right to speak freely. But anything that's, if you're just being negative on something or it's something that you should just scroll on by, I think I deleted I deleted both of Jeff's posts. I talked to Jeff about it. But that's only because drama was building from there, and Jeff knows where the line is at, and I said I wasn't going to mention names, but Jeff, you did pop in, so there you go. But it's really just about no more of this crap. Ray and I are we've got some goals for helping people, educating people. We're not here for all this freebie stuff either, and we know that. We know that the Spray Wash Academy is free, but we still want it to be a respectful place, and we still want it to be a positive place where, look, we hope that everybody eventually gets up to a level where they can enter pro and join pro and build their businesses and move on from there. Until they get to that point, this is where the academy is at for them. And so it is free. And with free, we try to, Daniel, you were saying earlier too about people that come in and if they don't answer the questions, I don't even look at who they are. I purposely will put my hand like over their name because I don't want to accidentally recognize somebody. And I'll go through and I'll see, did they answer the question? If they didn't answer the questions, I just go up and I hit delete. I don't allow them into the academy, because once we get past that, then all right. So I'm going to go and I'm going to do this. It's
the same thing
I'm going to block Naked Soap. I'm just getting rid of him. I think he's been a problem in the past, and that's the point. He was just making negative comments, and now I just blocked Naked Soap. I thought we had seen him before making negative comments, just had negative comments. Now he's gone. Not going to deal with that. Done. So, and we're here talking about negative comments, and you're going to play that with me, and I'm just not going to do that. Okay. I think, we'll give warnings, that kind of thing. But when somebody's just flat crossing the line, if Spray Wash Academy isn't for you, if you can't be positive, if you can't help people, I don't mind going away. Anyhow, now we're going on a negative drama rant. Before, I know you were getting ready to say something. Also, Ray says, also our moderators come from very differing backgrounds and have very different businesses, very much so. And then he says some are owner-operators, some run multi-truck $1 million companies. There you go. And some of them are semi-retired. What were you saying, Daniel? I'm sorry about that.
I was just saying it's the same thing that we put into our guys, or we look. So it was a long time ago. I forgot who it was. They were saying that when they put in for job search or whatever, when people apply, then in the instructions they'll say put your last name first, and then that was you. And if you can't follow simple instructions, then they don't need you, right? It's the same
exactly
thing. If you can't follow simple instructions, then why are you here?
I did that for the office staff. And then if it's just a general lead tech, what I would do is I would say change the heading to be I'm qualified. So that way I know that they've actually read the whatever job posting that was. And it was my way of separating the two as well. So if they put I'm qualified, I knew that they were applying for the lead tech position. If they put last name and then first name, then I knew they were applying for the office position.
Right.
And it was probably more stringent for me on the office position, simply because I figured, you need to be reading stuff that comes in if you're applying for the office position, period. End of story, just the way it is. So
that's prime. I had no idea that you were opposed to that. That was a long time ago.
Yeah. That's valuable
information that I remember.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, because that's the kind of stuff that gets shared in the academy. It's the stuff that gets shared in pro group. And there's all kinds of little nuggets in there if you just, if you have the time to sit back and listen and not get too carried away with stuff.
Yeah.
So anyhow, well, this has been a short, brief one, but it is Mother's Day. And I know you got to get on the road and get some things done. And I'm ready to go have some dinner with my wife, and got to spend some time again with my son and my wife today. And my mom's out there. And again, my son took third in his jiu-jitsu tournament today. His very first jiu-jitsu tournament, he took third in his jiu-jitsu tournament. How many people was there? Do you remember me telling you? How many competitors? Yeah, there was 3.
And they all ribbon.
Yeah, well, but so that's not really the way it happens, though. I mean, like my wife was going, because she does the jiu-jitsu as well, and she was going to get into the tournament as well, but she wouldn't have been against anybody. She would have won by default, and I mean, she didn't want to do that. And so my son, even though he was third out of 3. I'm super proud of what he did and was able to do, because he's only been doing it for 6 months, and he was holding his own there. So I felt good. I mean, about that. And it's just like what we're doing here. You have to learn, and you have to take the constructive criticism. So that's why, I mean, hey, constructive criticism is good. But you have to learn, and you have to grow, and, do those kinds of things. And you have to make mistakes. And in order to learn and in order to grow, you have to make mistakes. And if you're a member of Spray Wash Academy and somebody makes a mistake, you're allowed to point it out to them. That's not what we're saying. We're not saying you can't do that. We're saying that you should do that. You should point out the mistakes that they made. It's just that you need to do it in a professional fashion, not a belittling fashion, not an attacking fashion. Be positive about your negative reinforcement of them, if you would. That's it. Let's just stay positive. Let's just keep a good, a good head about us. And I'll also go one more this direction. I don't know what. Let me see. David Flipping popped in, so I'm going to see what he has to say, and then I'm going to share something with y'all. David says, I too stay away from watching the news. If I'm not studying about exterior cleaning, then I'm watching a good movie. There you go, Mr. Flip. Look, I don't know where everybody stands religiously. Okay, I'm not turning this into a religious discussion. However, I do feel like, most godly people follow a very strong moral and ethical code. And if you are a godly person, I'll ask that you just, think about your answers and your replies as you go on. And if you're not, just follow morals and ethics. That's it. I mean, your morals and ethics should help guide you. And you can slap somebody and be strongly moral and ethical. We talked about spanking people earlier, right? Spanking your kids. So it is okay to do that. Just do it respectfully. Do it in the spirit of doing what? Helping. Do whatever you're doing. Let's make it in the spirit of helping one another and making it better for everybody. And the big fear that everybody has is about, they're raising up their competitors. And I can tell you from my personal experience, I helped a lot of guys in my own backyard, that were competitors of mine, and I would help them with learning to do jobs and I helped them to do it right. And I've got guys that now were their prices I would find out were above mine. And I'd be like, holy crap, that's a good thing, right? Because now they were confident in what they did. So you can fear the competition all you want. But number one, the competition's coming whether you want them to come or not, especially right now in this pandemic thing we got going on. So positivity is going to help.
I remember first time I asked what SH was. And I was ordering 55 gallons of sodium hypochlorite. Mm-hmm. But when I ordered it, I said, hey, I need another barrel of bleach. I never said sodium hypochlorite. I never said SH. And I kept seeing SH. I was like, what the hell is this SH? It's what I've been ordering. Simple stuff like that someone may already have in their shop or, the garage or whatever they have. But they just don't know the technical word for it, or not really a technical word, SH. But there was, and I'm a big advocate for not forgetting how you started, where you came from. I like I said, I did this wrong for years. The past 4 years, almost, I've been doing this by the book and the way it's supposed to be, and I've had tremendous growth. I didn't know what any of this stuff was called. I didn't know what your unloader was. I didn't know what your chemical pickup. I'm like, the siphon isn't working. I didn't know that the SH wasn't going through the pump when you had it in the chemical pickup. I didn't know anything. I knew how to wash a house. I knew how to rinse a house. I didn't know anything aside from that. So there's a lot of people that are like me that may be doing it right or on the correct path to doing it right, but they just don't know the terminology.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can tell you this: there are things that I have never done in this industry and never will do now that I'm semi-retired anyhow, but because that wasn't my business model. And so I could ask a question that somebody thinks is absolutely stupid. I won't mention any names again, but somebody just the other day was asking me about, I can't remember, but it had something to do with the proportioner and the valves and the flow or something to that nature. And they asked, or before they asked me the question, they said, look, I know this is the stupidest question ever. And then when they asked the question, I'm like, that's not even a stupid question. That's a legitimate question. So, what you may think is a stupid question may not be stupid to somebody else to begin with. Yes, the whole SH thing, but just like you're saying, I mean, SH, I mean, I can see where some guys are like, well, what is it? And, so I know that there was a self-professed guru, and I made fun of him. And the reason that I made fun of him was because he was being a guru, I know everything kind of a guy. And yet he kept saying, you got to get you some sodium hyperchlorite. You need to be using sodium hyperchlorite. That's what he kept saying, sodium hyperchlorite. And I'm like, dude, you don't even know how to say it correctly. And you're trying to teach people how to do stuff. You don't even know what it is, right? And I did make fun of him. Should I have done that? No. But at the same time, there are times like that where it's, hey, you know what? Boom. People need to be put in their place sometimes. And I'm not saying that we can't. And TJ will be one of the first ones to put you in your place. I'm just saying, kind of thing. So David Flipping says, I remember asking that same question back in February of 2017. Hey guys, what is SH? The replies on Facebook came back quickly. Don't wash that house. Get a mentor. Get trained. And Flip's doing pretty good, I think, nowadays. I think Flip's got it going on for himself. He's doing good. So
a lot of him questions.
I don't know that I never knew what SH was when I started in this industry. I guess maybe I didn't realize. I think I knew when I started anyhow. I knew that it was bleach, but I didn't know the mixture ratios. And I remember my first roof that I did, and I remember that because I took the 10%, 1% literally. Okay, so I remember making my first 3% batch mix. Okay, I took the sodium hypochlorite at 12.5. Well, I think at the time I was getting 10.5%. And I broke it down to where it was literally a 3.5%, which isn't going to do squat. I mean, from the literal sense. So that, instead of being 30 gallons of bleach in a 100-gallon tank, I took it down to 3 gallons of bleach in a 100-gallon tank, that kind of a thing. So, hey, you know what? I just looked at 3%. Okay, 3%. That's what it is. And then, but one thing I noticed is that as I walked on the roof, I was leaving boot prints on the roof. So I knew something was working. It just wasn't working right. And so I had to learn from that. And there again, we didn't have this instant thing where we could get these answers instantly. So nowadays we have that more of an instant thing where we can just kind of get those answers very quickly and people that we can respond to. But anyhow, you want anything else, Mr. Daniel?
No, I just look forward to seeing a more helpful group. And if anybody ever has any questions, they want to message me, because if they're not comfortable putting it in the group, they want to shoot me a message. If I'm able to help them, then I'll definitely help them. There's a lot of stuff I don't know. I'm learning every day. You can ask Ray. I probably call him 5 times a day. Hey, what's right here? This isn't coming up. What do we do? And I batch his 1% is my 10%.
Yeah.
Okay. But feel free to reach out if anybody has any questions. If I can help, I'd be glad to help. But I wasn't trying to, irritate people. I'm just nothing good comes out of negativity, you know.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of money to be made. And something just hit me when that homeowner said, uh, when they were, I wasn't actually on the house, but my brother were opening up a second location, and he's running that location, and they were telling him that they went 10 years without getting their house cleaned because of how horrible of an experience they had from the last cleaners. And I thought, I wonder if they tried getting help 10 years ago and someone shot them down and they said, screw it, how hard can it be?
Mm-hmm.
And then they completely ruined it. And everyone knows bad news, travels faster than good news, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you do a good job, they're going to tell a few people. If they do a bad job, how many people are they going to tell? So that's what I was getting at when I said it's taking money off the table for everybody. Because how many other houses didn't get washed?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to being able to help when I can. I'm looking forward to seeing other responses because some of these questions that are being asked, I'd like to know the answer to. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm on it. I'm like, that's a good question. I wonder, what the answer for that is. So I'm just looking forward to seeing more helpful things that'll help all of us.
Yeah. So just to recap here real quick, I think you're going to see more in the academy. I'm not worried about it on pro because we already don't put up with it in pro. We already don't allow that kind of stuff to even get started in pro. And, so this is more about the academy than it is about pro. And just reiterating that, we're going to start capping some things off. We're going to start just deleting posts. We're not going to warn. We're just going to delete the posts, and then we'll warn the person that made the post. Look, we just want everybody to help one another, be positive towards one another. If you don't have something productive to say, it can be, I'm going to use the word negative and still be productive, right? If you're pointing somebody in the right direction or sharing your opinion, even though it might seem negative, that's not what I'm talking about. But I'm just talking about if you've got something that's got no value to it and it's just negative or meant to draw up drama, that kind of thing, we're going to delete it. We're going to kick it out. And that's it. And another thing is, I'll tell you, if you block a moderator or block an admin or on there, we just end up we've had that happen, and then we just kick the person out the group because we want everybody to be understanding and fair with everybody else. And that's really all this is about. This is about, first of all, happy Mother's Day to everybody. And let's just make this more of a positive thing. It has gone on far too long. I've had the same thoughts, Daniel. I've looked at some of the posts. We get a little bit too far in joking sometimes, and we're just going to start putting some caps down on some of that. And, not everybody's going to get a ribbon. Apologize for that, but I also don't feel bad at the same time. And again, if you don't like what we're talking about, if you don't like the positivity and you don't like us wanting you to just post things that are helpful to other people, even if it's telling them they're wrong, that can be helpful. If you don't like it, the door is over there. And though we don't want people leaving, we also don't want people in here that just have nothing good to say and just want to stay on the negative side and not help anybody. And, I think a lot of it, again, boils down to fear. People fear you. Right? If they help you, they're going to fear that you're going to become better than they are. I can tell you, I believe that I have helped and I have mentored a lot of guys. Some of them are bigger than I am and better than I am. And I am ecstatic about that, right? To go from, where they were and seeing them through their path and growing up. I mean, I can throw names out there. I saw Mike Oyen just the other day said he watched his truck go off all by itself, and that's a good, warm, fuzzy feeling for him. And I know that I've watched him grow to that spot, and it makes me feel good. And I love seeing people that are growing and doing well in this industry. It's a great industry. I mean, where else can you do this kind of stuff? Where can you spray water and make this kind of money? You just can't. It's insanity. Ray Burke's. I got to get rid of that guy. I heard pressure washing friends accepting.
I don't think I have the authority to get rid of them. I've tried before.
No, I'll tell you what, and I mean this intently. Like the government class that we put out on Spray Wash Academy, and what Tanya has done and what Ray has done. Tanya is a freaking mastermind. Whether we want to know it or not sometimes. And my problem with Ray Burke, and I know he's on here and I know he's watching, my problem with Ray Burke is that he is not who he says he is. We've had this discussion. I know for a fact that there are at least 3 Raymond Burkes. You don't ever see them all at the same time, but I know that they're out there, because there's no way that he can do this and that at the same time, yet he does. And that's just not, I think there's some sorcery going on there. I think there's some witchery going on there. I think there's something going on, but I think that, whatever. So anyhow.
I think he's using the sodium hyperchloride.
Yes, he's probably using the sodium hyperchloride. There you go. Yeah, and sometimes I go live as him and he goes live as me, and that's because of this program that we're using. It just accidentally happens, and, it's just kind of one of them things. Anyhow, all right, so I'm going to let Ray have the last word. And Ray says, but seriously, I honestly do feel this forum in general has the best information on Facebook, and I absolutely agree with that. I would say that Pro has the best information, but look, there is a ton of information on here, and you do need to use the search bar, find out what you can find from the search bar, and, go from there. If you can't find it and you don't know what SH is, post the question of what is SH, but don't expect any answers, because most of us are going to scroll on by. If we feel like it's really that generally stupid question, just don't answer. Just scroll by. That's all I'm going to say. Daniel, anything you want to add before we cut this thing off?
Maybe I don't know. It may not be a bad idea to put something on the top, like a pin post. Mm-hmm. Just saying, hey, if you got any general questions, try the search bar first. So when people see it, they know that they can search. Some people may not know that they can search.
Yep. Write it up and send it to me. Can you pin a post? I don't know if you can pin a post or not, but
I can make an announcement, but I can't pin a post.
There you go. I'm throwing it on your shoulders. See how I am? Didn't I do good right there? I don't even have to do anything. All right. One last thing, I guess, is here. Let's see. And then we're going to get out of here. I truly like your content. Y'all got off topic with the gatekeeping, though. Don't worry about other people, and don't try to mess with other man's hustle, another man's food on his family table. I agree with that. Much love. Just change the content and people will come. And we're going to change the content. We want it to stay positive. That's what the whole basis of this is. And so anyhow, we're about to get out of here. Following up, WD, thanks for giving us the opportunity to learn and be part of this great company where all the newbies like me can come in and learn a lot. Hey, I really appreciate that, Manuel. And Daniel, I really appreciate your time this evening. Glad we could clear a little bit of the air and kind of get things out of there. And again, y'all, just let's just be nice to each other, post good content, be helpful, and call it a day. Peace out, y'all. Dougie Doo and Daniel Howerton.
Yeah.
We are happy Mother's Day, y'all.
Yeah. Happy Mother's Day, everybody. Thanks, Dougie.